Every year, millions of people around the world depend on painkillers to relieve their pain. Many have therefore also become addicted or dependent on opioids used to treat pain. The United States government spends billions of dollars every year in an attempt to curb and resolve the opioid crisis. A group of well-meaning scientists began to research for a permanent solution to pain which many individuals go through globally. They came up with a device called PBMT. What is PBMT technology? I'll start with Mr. Chris Costello. Mr. Chris, welcome to NABN TV. You have been in PBM business for years now. How does this PBMT work?
There are a lot of different mechanisms, but light in general impacts human life. If you think about the idea that we came out of the primordial ooze and light helped make the molecular signaling that makes us exist today. So I think the interesting thing is that light is able to stimulate various biological processes or inhibit biological processes. So, for example, we can use light in a pulse blue light, for example, to kill bacteria and viruses, whereas we can use red light or infrared light to accelerate tissue healing and decrease inflammation. So there are a variety of applications, from treatment of soft tissue injury, improvement of muscle performance, for example, treatment of pain. And I think a really important issue is early treatment, with these modalities, so that somebody heals quickly, has reduced pain, and doesn't end up going on to opiate drugs and becoming addicted. So I think we have to look at using light and light therapies as an intervention rapidly, as opposed to waiting till somebody is already in a chronic situation. But it helps in both cases, but I think it's an important consideration. And, we're also seeing a lot of other very interesting applications, which some of the other folks on this conversation will be talking about.
I think, Terry, there's a really important point that you've raised there, is the fact that we can help people to identify what is appropriate for their needs in terms of the application and dosing of PBM. And we can do that in a clinical setting. But often in these chronic, uncurable conditions that need to be managed in the long term, if we can give them a home device to help them to self-administer at home, then that's really a key for improving quality of life and managing those kinds of things.
Sharon, what really got you interested into working with this?
I've been working with light therapy for about 20 years, and I got started through my animals, and I saw the reactions that the animals were getting with lights, even though I put it on me where they told me to put it. And I was like, okay, I don't get it at all. This doesn't work. But I put it on my horse, and that was an instant reaction. They looked at me, they responded, and animals can't lie. So what's going on here? And that got me started on this, on a journey. I would incorporate that into my lifestyle, and I would share it with people, and everybody that I shared it with became a believer. And we've just kind of been on a grassroots over here for 20 years.
I love the fact that this is open to the world. You want to spread this worldwide. I'm asking, how do we bring this technology to Africa?
First of all, I believe that due to the increased scientific evidence behind different applications in different areas, I believe that photobiomodulation can become more popular and more accessible if the different governments start to accept it as a mainstream in medicine in general. So when we get the full acceptance from the governments, maybe they will realize, as Chris and Terry said, that this is a very cost-effective therapy. So the governments are going to realize at some point that this is a good investment for the health system in different countries. And then we can have this technology or this kind of therapy being spread not only in Africa, but in the entire world.
Dr. Baker, as the president of NELT, what is the purpose of joining with WALT?
The purpose is to unite researchers, clinicians, patients who all are using light, both laser light as well as LED light, to treat patients with medical conditions that in many cases prior to today had no treatment. Dr. Lynn, one of your guests, will be perhaps talking about applications of light that just a year or two ago we were dreaming of, but never thought possible in terms of neurological applications. But the use of light is spreading to all the nations of the world. Right now, we have 18 different nations will be represented in this conference. And the purpose of Walt and NALT coming together is to unify the science, to show the world collectively what is possible and what is available. It is to showcase research from around the world and to show the world that this science is not only being used in the United States and Canada and North America, but is being used worldwide to make a difference in the care and treatment of the patients. As a physician, I've never been more excited about having light in my black bag. Everywhere I go, I have added light as a tool in my black bag as a physician to treat patients for conditions that previously were never thought possible. And so that's why NALT and Walt are coming together to put together perhaps the largest conference of its size. We're looking at nearly 100 speakers, both podium speakers and poster speakers, who will present their research and their clinical applications. So we're very excited about the upcoming conference.
Tell us more about the conference and what people should expect to walk away with.
I think this conference is really interesting because the amount of interest in photobiomodulation is growing. So we've had, traditionally, this conference comprises of academics and researchers, but the information going out to the public in general is, hey, light therapy or photobiomodulation can really help, and is going largely by word of mouth. There's more literature going out. There's in popular articles about, for sports, there is a lot of interest because they want to feel healthier. They have these panels that is kind of publicized. So apart from your supplements, your daily living, exercise, hey, you know what, we can help our muscle to recover, and so on and so on. So I think this conference, I hope, will open up to interest outside of the researchers, serious researchers, into more people having more and more interest into photobiomodulation.
In this virtual event, the Science Committee is putting together a fantastic lineup of experts in the field from all over the globe. You have people in academia, in industry, clinicians, administrators, and in all walks of life. And most importantly, we have a huge student participation. I assure you, this will be an event not to miss. A lot will be discussed towards advancing the science of photobiomodulation, the state of photobiomodulation therapy in present times, and also network and build collaborations with colleagues in the field, institutions, and various governments, and the population at large. Furthermore, this conference would inform and educate everyone on the enormous benefit of light therapy. Please visit the conference webpage at www.pbm2021.com, or you can visit the North American Association for Photobiomodulation Therapy, NALT.org webpage, or the World Association for Photobiomodulation Therapy, WORLD website, to obtain more information about the virtual Congress.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best with the conference. My name is Olivia Nantongo. This was News Magazine. Thanks for watching.
NABN TV, inspiring a new generation.